Good morning, SpeedGaming 2, and welcome to more Links to the Past Randomizer group, our main tournament group play. Today we are featuring a match in Group F between dazedcloud and Yagamoth. This is going to be a Fad Key Sanity. I'm Radical Sniper 99 or Jesse, joined by Tracy. Good morning.
Good morning. It's not morning for either one of these guys, though.
No.
Yagamoth out there in Germany and dazedcloud in Korea, of all places.
Yes. So this, I believe, is the first match in Group AF play. I don't see any other results from that group.
All right. Oh, we've already got what's the fad in Fad Key Sanity? Already got a question. That's a reasonable question. It just means that we will have the big key to GT will be in GT, and the Aga Tower keys will be in Aga Tower.
Yeah.
So there you go. Everything else completely.
Fad Keys has been around for a little bit with the Castle Tower Smalls and Castle Tower. This year we made an additional change to it, adding the GT big key into GT. A nice little consistency change. I know there was some difficulties last year with which mode has GT and which modes don't. So they got that really tightened up this year to make sure the GT key is always in GT.
I personally liked the modes last year with without the all dungeons. I do think consistency is good, but I would have done it the other way around. Stuck with the 7 crystals in both cases, and have the all the keys shuffled. But not doing the same thing every year makes sense. Okay, nice big bush crab dropping some red 20s. So yeah, money not really going to be an issue.
Tier 1s being full magic, so
yeah, farm up those rupees. Don't if we don't find bombs, it'll be easy to buy. If Zora becomes an issue, we know where to farm. Immediate lumberjack check. I don't know if I find this is valuable when we know we have to kill Aga anyway. But
it just knowing if you really want to go after it.
Yeah, that's fair. It is a piece of heart, so we just kill Aga whenever it makes sense, unless of course the game tells us we have to do it early. Ideally, you want to do it at the very end after you've climbed GT and take that right into Ganon.
Yeah, the one thing to always keep in mind is that you could use Aga as a routing tool.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to think about that side of the game. You definitely see a lot of people go, no, I'm gonna do Aga right before Ganon at the end of the race. But there are a bunch of uses you can get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to, if it makes sense to do it to get over to the pod area, if your Dark World access is mitts instead of hammer, having that East Dark World side readily available is nice. So yeah, there are definitely reasons to do it.
So
was this key?
Sorry, I missed it.
Pod key. Yeah, I missed it the first time. It's a pod key. We'll get lots of those.
So this is our matchup between our Quartile 2 in Dazed and our Quartile 3 with Yagamoth in this group. Coming into this, Dazed had a 92.46 in quals, scored a 93.189 in the Fad keys. Meanwhile, Yagamoth had a 90.315 in quals, with 91.7 in the Fad keys GT feed. So we of course throw all that out. Not important now, but always interesting to see how people got here.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So we got a glove in the back of tavern. I like what dazedcloud did, taking all those rupees and going straight to the bottle vendor, which net him some very expensive bombs, but now he doesn't have to go buy them like Yagamoth did.
Yeah, and realistically,
not gonna be a huge difference, but every little routing efficiency is nice.
Yeah, you take a chance at you're gonna buy a bottle vendor anyway, and Dazed will just buy the full bomb pack afterwards.
Okay, so we did see a pod big key. So a glove and a pod big key so far are highlights of Kakariko. Yagamoth, our first player into the well. Well, okay, early shuffle, I mean, not my favorite. to see, but we'll get it out of the way quickly.
Yeah, it routes in very nicely. You just do race game.
Yep.
Do race game blind. Find yourself doing the dig spot right after that. It's
Yeah.
a good flow overall.
All right, we also got a sword and a bombos. All right, so Days will be about to get this glove.
Yeah, not a lot else out of Kakariko here.
No, not really.
You're thinking, okay, am I gonna get something to kind of indicate where I want to go after this? And we really just have nothing. You're gonna probably just make the normal, strong play of okay, mini Moldorm Cave South
Yep.
Shore next.
Yep. I might do Back of Escape first with that glove, but yeah, other than
True.
that, exactly. You're gonna do Mini Moldorm. You're gonna do pull that dam, all that good stuff.
Now, I guess one of the things we could do, and I'd be curious to hear your take on this one as well, is are we gonna consider maybe grinding out the money for a Zora play?
I think I would grind out, maybe not, but I think being aware of those bush crabs and just, when they're on screen, like on the way to Mini Moldorm Cave, I probably would farm them just to get myself close enough so if I happen to hit a 300, then now the play to Zora makes a lot of sense.
And apparently for this race, the scout was the better way to go about doing this for Dazed. Yagamoth's still gonna pick up that map for Ice Palace.
Yeah, the maps have use in this mode, except that since you have to do all dungeons, the only real use of the maps is finding out what is the green pendant, because then you can turn that in for the Saha play. What are your really knowing what your pendants are to see if pet is a pull. Pet is not. Pet in this mode is just another check because you're going to be getting those pendants anyway.
Yeah. We also got
Days?
a map over at the dig spot.
Yeah, there we go.
And
There
double
we go.
digs for both runners.
It's hard to get that spot correct. Okay, Dave's gonna go ahead and do what I talked about and do Back of Escape, and it looks like Yagamoth as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'm not a fan of with the Zora play here would be also, we can't really, even if we fake Flipper into it, we're not going to be able to get the waterfall
Right.
or the ledge. Although, hey, look at that mirror.
Yeah, I think especially though, if you were to at least keep yourself, at enough money that you're not far away from it. If it does become something you need to do, you're close to it. And also, again, if you spike a 300 or maybe if Flippers were to suddenly show up, making all of it in logic, then you can just go back to that crab and finish up that farm and maybe have enough money for it.
Yeah, we've definitely got a few bush crabs coming up here. To the right of the dam, there is one, and then to the left. So, if we go a screen in either direction, we can easily get a bush crab or two to continue this money collection.
Yep. Thieves Town small key. Always nice to have that Thieves Town small key before the means to actually go in the back.
Just make sure we pair that with the big key, hopefully. Or not
Yeah.
the big key, the hammer.
Hammer, yeah, exactly. And oh, fun! We already have mitts.
Ooh, that's the I don't know if that's the worst way to have Dark World access, potentially.
It's not
but
my favorite way to have Dark World
yes.
access, that's for sure. Yeah, see, and Days is going to continue to farm these bush crabs as they present themselves, like we were talking about. But it looks like he's just going to do it the one time, and I like that. Let's see if Yagamoth does the same thing with this other bush crab. Yep, he sure is.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yagamoth is just a little bit further away on the money front.
Yeah, I'm guessing he did one less than Days. Oh, he is going to farm it again. Interesting. Maybe he wants to do that fake flipper play now. Now, without a moon, yeah, we don't have a moon pearl yet to get all the stuff in the waterfall. It's just, I think, a little more worrisome than the thing on the ledge, because you're still gonna see the thing on the ledge.
Yeah.
We get the Aegina play from Dazed.
I mean, there's not a lot of ways to skip that check. it feels like one of those things you're going to go after. And Days did a good job of routing in money along with the cave.
Yep.
So it works out very nicely.
Mire small, Skullwood small. A sword is nice. A fire rod is nice. A big key. Oh, a nice big key.
No,
That started out
nice.
underwhelming. That was a very underwhelming start to that cave with small keys that are logically required. Well, okay, the Mire key is not actually even logically required unless there's something on the left side. The skull keys are logically required, but fire rod and a sword is nice. I like how both runners using the bombos to good effect here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm big on that Thieves Sound big key now. I was kind of, as we were saying, we'd love a hammer, and now it's like,
Yeah, that's the bad part about it, of
as
course.
soon as we get that pearl, we have logical, clearable Thieves Town, and like, I don't expect either runner to have trouble with it, but do you really want to spend the time?
Well, it's not the time. Like spending the time, you're gonna have to do it at some point eventually. The concern is no hammer, no big chest.
Yeah, of course.
We get a fairy in a bottle.
And luckily with that mirror already, don't have to worry about the death warp, so.
Oh yeah, fairies are the worst. They don't save me. They never save me. They only mess up my death warp. So And we're gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna buy a bomb. Oh, we're gonna check this item. I don't think he needs to buy bombs. He's got 4. There's no big bomb cost coming up, and just some arrows on the Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, so we're going to get at least Saha. We'll see if that could be a full play into Eastern. Eastern Palace can easily have an item at this point.
Yeah, we don't have a much left to us. We could do Escape, Eastern. We can do Out of Logic Mountain stuff. Ice Palace is the green pendant, for what it's worth.
You talked about that map to pick up, and the map we did pick up was Ice Palace, or the one that Yagamoth picked up was Ice Palace.
And it looks like we're gonna get some fake flippering over on Dave's side. Maybe just gonna do the man under the bridge. And Yagamoth gonna continue on into Eastern. So we'll be able to get 4 items here, 1 out of logic. I mean, this is the mode of double dipping, so.
Yeah. Any amount you can reduce that need, you will appreciate in the long run.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we are a lamp away from Aga as well, and that there's a question of like, do you do Aga early in this seed for the routing changes?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see the argument for doing that. Heck, you could pair like Zora and Catfish kind of all together. You'd still have a little bit of trouble, and because we still don't really have a good fake flipper, slash splash delete, whatever.
Yeah.
Daze is going all the way over here. He's not gonna be. He's gonna get the in logic Zora item, but not gonna be able to do anything else. And like I said, there's the mountain play, but there's really only without a hook shot. Well, I guess we could go into Hera and look at 2 items. But there's not a lot else we can do.
Setting up Old Man is always a good play, in my opinion. Having that save and quit point for the quick mountain start later. Which
is what you'd be doing it for, because I think what we have. I guess it'd be 5 items total we could look at, because it's the 2 in Hera plus the Spec Rock and Spec Rock Cave. And the Old Man item. Oh, hi, Lamp.
Oh
Chat was calling for this.
Yeah.
Good on chat. Now, the second half, I don't know if that Flute on Pyramid showing up, but, could happen.
I mean, at this point, I think I'm rushing Hyrule Castle and just...
Yeah, I mean, you have to do Aga anyway. You could rush Hyrule Castle, kill Aga, do the escape play, do the Aga play that you have to do eventually anyway. It's not unreasonable to go and do this. Well, at least from Dave's perspective, at least doing Saha first. We'll see if he follows Yagamoth into Eastern.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to for Dazed, I don't know if I'd agree on an Eastern play at this point.
Mhm.
I think, Hyrule Castle into Aga, or even climbing the mountain here
Yep.
makes a lot of sense.
Mountains
But
now in logic.
yeah, like I would disagree on entering Eastern Palace, even though this could be it.
You know, about to
Like if we
find
can
out.
avoid the double dip.
This isn't logic now, though Yagamoth doesn't know it. It's a small key to swamp. Well, I mean, we need that.
It's a very required small key.
I mean, there are ways that could really be a payoff for Yagamoth. If, for instance, the bow, if an only accessible bow is sitting there in Swamp Palace, and Yagamoth has the small key, he's going to get to it sooner than Dazed is, because Dazed is going to try and not have that double dip.
And Yagamoth is going to give us that front of escape play now. I don't think that was necessarily a purposeful pickup of magic from Yagamoth. I don't think this is going to be an Aga play in the dark. Oh, and there's our pearl, so never mind.
I mean, he could. He's got the Fire Rod Aga is not bad.
No. And I would fully expect both of our runners to feel comfortable with that kind of play.
Now, Dark Aga, not a fan. But Fire Rod, give me a Fire Rod, and I need to do Aga. Easy to do that. Because it's funny, the way the logic works in terms of Fire Rods and Dark Rooms is if there's any rooms that don't have torches on the path, then the Fire Rod does not put it in logic. But what's funny about Castle Tower is that the torches that are the rooms that have torches are the hard rooms, the ones you want lit up. And the rooms that don't have torches are the easy rooms that really are very trivial to get through. So, but we are getting some divergence. Days is going to do the mountain stuff. I believe that was Ether.
Yeah, it did look like a medallion at least.
Yeah, we have Bombos, so the other choice is Quake. I'm pretty certain that was an Ether. I imagine Days will just get it on his way out of Hera.
Yeah,
so he can save and quit out of there. I mean, we don't know for sure that's going to be required, but you'd hate to get all the way to Misery Mire and be like, oh yeah, I left my Ether medallion in Spec Rock Cave.
I'll be curious to see how Days handles this. Gonna get the Pearl probably right after this play on the mountain here. Do we see Dazed want to check out the go for Aga at this point, anyway, and just say, you know what, this helps me get through stuff, or am I playing only for that mini Moldor I'm not playing kindly?
And our big key is to Skullwoods. Well, mostly useless big key is Skullwoods.
It does just give Dazed a better way to do a single dip of Skull.
Yeah, it's a fetch quest, but it's not as much of a fetch quest if you haven't actually been to the dungeon yet.
Yep.
So really nothing in the front of Hyrule Castle. And yep, Daisy's gonna go ahead and pick up that Ether medallion. Dark Cross not too bad without a fire source. Obviously, Yagamoth can light the torches, but I personally find I don't really need the torches lit until I get to that last room, and maybe not even then if I'm. It doesn't really. It's not really difficult to get to that chest. I find. I just find it's a little faster so I can see it.
Yeah.
All right, Yagamoth saving and quitting out of that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for Yagamoth. This is Dark World time. Easy decision. Dazed has that better option for the Aga play here, but we'll get Dark World access momentarily from Uncle.
Alright, I think this is just, Yagamoth's just going to do the bad Dark World access, which is fine. I think there's a lot of things you can do here. We have a mirror, so Smiths aren't even that bad if mirror plus mitts, if he wants to go that route. I'm going to check the sick kid first with that bottle. I am a little curious whether it's faster to walk here first and then go into the Dark World, or if it's better to mirror in front of that house.
I am not entirely sure, but I think in terms of when I get into Dark World, maybe it makes my life a little bit easier to make a decision
Mm-hmm.
kind of standpoint. Like
Get the thing earlier.
if that was the skull big, if that was half magic, if it was a cape, like
Sure.
just little things that make the route in when we start Village of Outcasts a little simpler. And of course, Vortex bringing up a good point. What if you forget to mirror?
Yeah, I mean that's legit. And I there have been several times where I've done a check later or planned to do a check later, and you just don't remember to do it.
Hey, a
And
skull, small, and
skull, small,
skull.
and skull. Okay, well I think that's no. I
That's all
guess we've got
three.
two of those. Did we get all three? We do have
We
all three.
did.
My God,
Hey,
the small keys you
Monster
don't
Girly.
care about. Yeah, I mean, honestly, so we have 7 hearts, we have a master sword. It's not a terrible fight here.
No. And we have a fairy. Another ice,
Right,
or there's
yeah,
an ice small.
and honestly, the getting rid of that fairy early, you'll be able to use those bottles for more useful things if you want to. And we can catch another one now because we have a bug net. The only thing bad for Yagamoth, of course, is he doesn't have that big key, so when he gets it, it becomes a full-on fetch quest for him to check the big chest.
Yeah, it really depends on, how much does Yagamoth do of this West Dark World set, and does he feel like, yeah, I want to come back and do just that check? Even
Yeah,
if
I would
we come
do.
back for activating the flute, like,
Yeah.
does that become a time you want to ever do something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you do Village Outcast with the mirror. The first part of the Smith chain isn't bad. You probably don't turn in the purple chest right away. You're really looking to see if you can score a hammer before you actually commit to Thieves Town. You're probably gonna do the front four of Thieves Town at the very least. Yagamoth wanting to have full magic before he finishes this dungeon.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I I really believe we'll see like a full clear of Vu. I don't see a reason why we don't do purple chest here. And Dazed is not going to do Aga.
Okay. I mean, he's got Dark World access.
Yeah.
There's benefits to doing it that we talked about it, but there's no reason to do it specifically other than those benefits. I think maybe if he had a bow, uh, being able to get to pod more easily might make sense because that's like a ton of checks. Although we have one pod small right now, so
Although there's another pod small over on Yagamoth's side.
man. Chad also making a good point. The save and quit to the pyramid being one of those things that just is annoying.
Yeah. I can see the value in that. I don't know. I'm of the opinion like the easy check to get to there is really hard to pass up.
Okay, Daze is going to join Yagamoth in Skull Woods, and we'll find out whether that big key is going to matter or not. I mean, it might still matter because Yagamoth might, even if this is nothing, Yagamoth might lose time coming back and checking it later. But we'll see if it's something to where he needs to come back and check it.
And
Nicely
just
done on the
barely
moth.
gets through. Whew.
I mean, he had a fairy. It was fine.
Yeah. Oh, those
Okay.
are required.
Yeah, okay, so fetch quest, Skullwood's big key required. That's not good for Yagamoth.
Yeah, and as we were saying, like, what puts you back here? Like, the big things are a flute activation, a hammer peg, maybe
Yep.
a Thieves Town clear. But even then, those are all Village of Outcasts. You're going to
Yep.
be done with
Yep.
Skull after this.
All right, Dave's getting his bug net, is gonna go back and kill Moth. I hate the walk back out of here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yagamoth's thing right now.
I was kind of surprised neither of them considered doing the back first. I guess they were hoping for a sword to make the moth a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think if I have Master Sword, at least, I tend to prefer to do the back first. If I'm on Fighter Sword, unless I have a ton of magic to use the fire rod with, or a good defense to use a hammer with. I would tend to clear things first.
We do have nothing on the bumper ledge, just some money. Both
It
of our
also
runners
wants
get
that
magic.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good magic to know about.
Yep. Yeah, Vortex pointing out it's going to be a while before we see any of Swamp, both of them missing a key component of the Swamp equation.
Yeah. Just bombs on the graveyard ledge.
Like, I could have seen, you know, if you have both the Swamp Small and the Flippers, with this setup, I could see, like, oh yeah, I'm just going to check the first 2 chests of Swamp Palace. Now it's like, do I see Daze doing 1 check in Swamp? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen, it's not like you can't have the Swamp Small in the first chest. But we know that's not going to happen.
I mean, wasn't that more of like a V29, V30 kind of thing?
I mean, it happens. I believe it was actually fairly common in one of the earlier versions. I think you're
Yeah.
correct. Now it just happens, you know, in the way these things always happen, which is every once in a while the game just likes to tease. Oh, hi, Hammer. That's good.
That's good
that just
for
makes
runners,
everything better.
bad for Yagamoth, unfortunately. Because this,
I mean,
this takes out another set of checks or reasons for Yagamoth to come back for Skull.
yes, that is a really good point. It's good in the sense that we can just full clear Thieves Town and be done. So from a routing perspective, we can full clear Thieves Town, we can finish it, we can do all the Smith chain, drag that purple chest. But as you say, what's going to bring Yagamoth back to this area to check the big chest of Skull Woods?
Like, you come back for flute activation, clearly, but that's a light world check or a light world thing. After that, like, I'm not probably going into Skull. Hammer Pegs is going to be done. Bats, light world, dark world. We should be done with Village of Outcasts after this.
Yep. But it is nice, I mean, for both runners to not have to think about, do I full clear Thieves Town? Do I just do the front 4, come back with the hammer? So it takes that part of the equation out. A high cape that we don't really need.
I mean, if you're really hurting for money, we've got an option.
dazedcloud did not want to walk back through Skull Woods. I kind of like this routing better when you have the hammer, but I think it works out fine. It may even still be faster than walking back through Skull Woods.
It's a lot of screen transitions in Skull, that's for sure.
Yep.
And Dazed, you know, doing all that in Light World was just, you know, a couple, drops a few of them, for sure.
A nice fairy for Yagamoth.
Seed is starting to give a little bit of a hint towards Pod here. Getting a couple more smalls. 2's not bad. We can get a lot done with 2.
Yeah. There's only a handful of things we can't do with 2. Logically, only a handful of things open. We need 4 to really make a lot of those back checks open. But we do, you know, with hammer jumps and, you know, if we really want to be stingy, and you can actually full clear the dungeon with 4 keys. I don't recommend it because then you're going down that definitely you're going down that right side several times, and right now without a bow that'd be a bunch of mimic clipping and/or potion camera unlocking.
We get another fairy in a bottle there too.
Oh boy.
We're safe. It's a very safe seed.
Yeah, glad we have mirror, because death warping not available. Well, even the mirror doesn't always say. Have you ever been so low on health that you've been like, yeah, I'm just gonna death warp instead of taking the mirror, and then the
Yep.
fairy pops out?
Yep.
Like,
No,
oh
I
my
know
god,
that feeling.
that's worse than just the regular fairy death warp, you know? Okay, next item in Thieves Town for Yagamoth. Just a heart piece.
Not much out of Thieves. We'll see what we get out of this big chest. Feels like the seed's been saying, "Hey, you have this available now." But I thought the same thing about Moth, so I don't know.
Nope. So if we had not gotten the hammer and just never worried about the big chest, we'd have been fine.
Yes, I see a lot of talk about rooting interests here, and
It's
mention
80
of a long
keys.
seed. Yeah.
I mean, we won't have the classic second Aga Tower key hunt that can literally be in 215 locations of our 216 because of the fad part, but it's still, 10 dungeons instead of 7.
And another compass.
Not even a useful compass.
No.
Like, compasses are not all equal. Like, give me an Ice Palace compass every single time. Ice Palace is impossible to count. Skullwoods, on the other hand, we've already cleared it, I mean, Yagamoth can walk in and see that he's missed the big chest.
I would have felt bad if that was boots and they both did this dungeon without the boots.
Yeah, I mean,
neither of them checked brewery.
yeah, I mean, without boots, I'm checking everything that's convenient. I might even grab, I could see even grabbing the smith and grabbing that and just then walk again. Especially when you have to do the dig game first anyway.
Right.
You're gonna be heading right back up there.
But yeah, this is going to be likely, as people watch this main tournament, this will be your long mode. And this is going to be a question of how fast can a person full clear efficiently.
Yes.
This mode really is going to test that part of our runners throughout. Average times for quals are definitely over 140. We had very rarely seen even times in the 140s. A lot of the time this mode will start drifting into the 150 and hopefully not the 2-hour range.
Yagamoth grabbing the smith, dazedcloud into the blind fight. And Yagamoth, I always laugh about this because I always in this situation will turn the smith in first, hoping for boots. It has yet to happen, but someday,
Someday you will be vindicated.
That's right. It's heart container. Yagamoth says no. I don't need any more of those. Because, yeah, I'm pretty certain it's faster to do this first, assuming you don't get boots. Big key to Eastern. Okay, well.
Okay.
That's...
Are we gonna find a bow soon? Like...
I hope so, because Yagamoth's already been in Eastern once. Don't need him to have to go back into Eastern with the big key and then have to go in there again with a bow. Whereas Days, that Eastern big key, could put him in a position where he does as much of Pod Eastern as he can sooner rather than later. Because he may not be able to clear the dungeons, but that's a lot of checks that you can do.
I mean, you pair that with the front and back of Pod. We're talking what, 15 checks total? roughly.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, that's a hard pass up for Dazed at this point. We do also have the mountain. Dazed can get about another dozen or so checks on the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Hey, a map of the dungeon you just cleared. Okay, we're about to
We've seen
see.
just a little bit more clear from Dazed up to this point. So like it
Mhm.
looks like Yagamoth might be a little bit ahead, but what you're really seeing is a couple extra clears and checks from Dazed, giving some info, but also flippers and an ether medallion a little bit ahead of Yagamoth here.
Yeah, the Ether Medallion Yagamoth is going to run too. And of course, we don't even know
Oh
if
yeah.
it's required. But the flippers are the big issue for Yagamoth right now, because it's a fetch quest. He has to go pick up the Skullwoods Big Key, and then take that to Skullwoods. And again, we're just not sure when that's going to happen. I'm about to hit Hype Cave. We'll see if there's anything good here today. But yeah, for days with flippers in hand, after he does all these checks that Yagamoth's doing right now, he could just swim over to Pod Eastern area.
And we got a third pod key out of
Yep.
Hype Cave, so
And a Cane of Samaria. And that Samaria is
which
interesting because that's that makes Ice Palace pretty nice for Dazed if he wants to go there.
yeah, I would kind of hope for that ice big before doing it, even though we have great equipment. Like we've got a fire rod and
Yeah,
bombos,
yeah,
we've
that Ice
got
Big is
everything else.
another one of those fetch quest big keys. The one reason you might do ice before Pod Eastern is since it is the green pendant, you can
Exactly what I was
turn
thinking
that
as
in
well.
on the way over there.
Yeah, I
Yagmoth's gonna
mean,
do something
it's
flipper.
hard to pass that up.
Oh, Yagamoth, I don't care about flippers. I'm just gonna go do ice anyway. Okay. I mean, Ice Palace Big Key could be an Ice Palace.
Yeah. And this could be an interesting information gain for Yagamoth is like, what if I get something, and I learn logic of the seed a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, if you get something like a flute in here, would mean your flippers can't be in the mire area, for instance.
Yagamoth remembering the all-important
Yep.
must go back and hit the switch.
Yeah. This is thing gets me sometimes because I tend not to hit the switch unless I have to. Without the big key, though, you have to hit it. So Days
Interestingly,
about
we
the...
are one pendant piece of knowledge away from map info.
Oh yeah. I mean, we haven't talked to the... We don't know what our red crystals are yet.
True, and I don't expect either runner really to go out of their way for that talk.
No, you don't really need to. I often will just kind of look at my menu just to see if I've got red pendants, or there's also the classic. Although you see this more in a cross keys setting, where you walk into the bomb guy and the bomb's just sitting there already.
Of course, it looks like Dazed is going to give a quick talk to our bomb vendor and find out what those 5/6s are.
Eastern and Skull. Okay, so we do have one.
And honestly, we are a bow away from Pyramid Fairy now.
Yep. Yeah, I do think this is going to be the Pod Eastern play from Dazed.
I thought we would have gone up through the pegs instead of
Yeah,
swimming
no,
down.
you're right. I was thinking because I'd forgotten about that hammer, but yeah, you could just swim. I think this
I'm
is Ice Palace. Yeah.
I'm surprised we're not seeing waterfall first. Like maybe I could have gotten the sword or something, or the big key before
Mm-hmm.
dipping ice. Like for
Yeah,
days,
I
that's
like that.
such an easy play having the flippers.
Yeah.
The other side of this is I might have considered going up to pyramid catfish
Mm-hmm.
to that waterfall into ice.
Yeah, that actually works really well too.
Yeah. So I don't I understand the play, like clear your dungeons, please, but I don't know. There's so much you still need that I really would. I'm surprised we didn't see some extra clears from, especially Dazed. And this is Compass Palace.
It sure is. Exactly what I was thinking. Well, we're not going to get a nice big key here.
At least not the one we want in the moment.
Yeah. All right. Yagamoth's going to use the bombos to conserve magic, so he has more fire rod shots in the second phase, which I like.
Yeah, hopefully he can get some good splash here. Throwing Hold Stare up into the corner. Does get that spin off very nicely. And yep, there's a few good shots.
Yeah, then he missed two. Like, he was
Yeah,
doing really good,
unfortunate.
then he missed two shots, and now he's just going to have to use the sword or the hammer. I personally prefer sword spins on this, because it does the same damage as the hammer, but you can double hit. But he did a nice job with that hammer.
Yeah, really good cleanup there at the end.
And we get a key. The game, I mean, we need some of those.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'd like having two of those by the end of the
Yep.
seed.
Absolutely. And we have that orphan big chest, so keep that in mind for much later on. If there's something good in there, they're both going to have trouble getting back to it. I think this is going to be pyramid into pod for Yagamoth, perhaps?
Either that or Catfish and Zora. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that could
which
be
is
it.
more likely.
Right, because he hasn't even done Zora yet, let alone like the
I think
ledge and stuff.
the hard part for Yagamoth here is just having only 550 rupees.
Mm.
Like, if you commit to Zora or Pod here, you are saying to the other one, I cannot go and do you for a little bit. Luckily, if we go to Pod, we
He
have
can get the money
coming.
back. Yeah, he can get the money back from Pod. So if you do Pod before Zora, then you're fine. The bigger issue for the Yagamoth is that I don't think, does he have a splash delete item? I don't think he does. So he still can't get the waterfall fairy if he's doing catfish into Zora.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, Samaria gives us a half the equation with the bombs, and not a great number of bombs, but we don't have anything else to get the rest of the way there. But there is a big key on the pyramid. Watch this be ice.
Of course. No, it's just her. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's a dungeon we can now clear, so... or not clear, we don't have the small key, but that's another fetch quest in and of itself. The Hera small key in randomizer has nothing to do with clearing the rest of the dungeon, unless the big key happens to be there in a non-keys mode. But yeah, he is gonna go into pod. I don't know that you go back into Eastern with just the big key.
No, I don't think he makes that big of a commitment.
No, I don't think so.
It really is. Do we get a bow here and somewhere in pod?
Yeah, if he gets a bow, then obviously you go and just finish Eastern. It's fine. But yeah, if
But
that's a long way
like,
to go for one check.
Like, for Yagamoth, I would expect I do what I can in Palace of Darkness, and then I'm heading probably up the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a ton of East Death Mountain now available. Really not a whole lot in Ice Palace. And that green pendant yielded nothing.
Yeah, I'm hoping here Dazed mirror and check out the waterfall cave.
I'd like to see that.
I really wish he had done that before Ice Palace, just in case we could have gotten the Ice Big.
First check-in pod, just rupees. We have 3 keys, so you can do, probably what you do is you do the front, you do, maybe you potion, well, we don't have a potion, you can mimic clip the right side, you go to the back, but you want to save one small key for the boss, so you probably don't want to use all 3 keys.
Yeah. I can make an argument for doing the Harmless Hell way. There's definitely situations I would do that with this key layout, but I know a lot of people would probably disagree with me on that one, so I'm not sure there's a right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Really good mimic clip there. Oh, and
yeah, the argument for doing it is that we have the big key anyway, so not having to ever go back there is really nice. And surely there are 3 pod small keys available, and I'll get one before I want to come back.
Right,
on the other hand, pod small key go mode is kind of awful.
Yeah.
So
it's about as bad as Skullwood small key go mode.
Yeah, both of which can happen if you don't use your keys right. Day's gonna be the one going back up to the mountain. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like Daze is really thinking, "Hey, can I save?
Can I get a bow or more small keys?" He hasn't gotten the Hera big yet. That was on the pyramid, so nothing more he can do in Hera. We could find a hookshot, which would then allow him to do Hera out of logic.
This means we're gonna really hit the Hera big chest becomes the fetch quest for Dazed.
Yep, just like this. I mean, if there's something good in there, that evens things out, right?
Yeah.
And ether for Turtle Rock. So that ether is required. Not quite the classic key on the doorstep, but kind of close. And Yagamoth says, you know what? I want to use this small key. I don't think he's opened the front door yet, though.
He has not, and he thus has not gotten the bridge or the basement.
Which is a little scary because you don't really want to be skipping the in-logic checks.
Yes.
In my opinion.
No, I'm in full agreement with that one. I've seen a lot of, I've seen that bite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Daze is going to do the front of TR here. We get a vanilla key, and there's a bow in the big chest.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well. I mean, now if you're Yagamoth, you can just... Yeah, you can beat this.
Yeah, I'm not sure, you were talking about multiple trips up right side. Are you doing 2 more trips up right side?
I maybe mirror and do Eastern first. The option. But, the idea of... I might not do... Well, gosh, yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a really tough one. You don't want to really come back here, but... It's just leaving those in logic chests are just... that's scary. And there can't be small keys in this dark maze. A flute for days. That's really nice.
Yeah, good find. Well worth the time he invested into doing Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we got some nice things. He could do more. He's got 2 small keys. He's debating.
He's really having a struggle with that thought.
The difficult thing is with these 2 small keys. Like you're gonna skip the lava chest no matter what. In fact, I have to. One of them was commenting that they had accidentally, in their qual, used a small key here. Just autopilot to opening the lava chest. Yeah, Yagamoth was... Okay, it was Yagamoth that did that. But, you can get all the way to... Okay, or you could die to chain chomps, because chain chomps are dangerous. No, we got a fairy. It's fine. We can get to Mimic Cave, but here's the problem with Mimic Cave, and the thing I don't like about it is that you get to Mimic Cave, you can't just mirror to the front of Turtle Rock anymore.
Right.
So this would be the end of your route. You're not walking back through Turtle Rock to get it. Oh my god, it's a hook shot! And Dave says, you know what? I've got good stuff out of Turtle Rock. I'm leaving now. And
Yeah,
actually, this could also be Hookshot Cave is right here. So again, if you get all the way to Mimic Cave, getting back out is really really difficult.
Yeah, no, this is this is those are the 4 checks you do, I think. You hit the front of TR. You've done what you can. Let's live with that, and we'll come back hopefully with the big key, with the ice rod, and with a third small.
Question in chat: where was the Swamp Palace small key? It was in the eastern big chest, or big key chest, not big chest. And Yagamoth he's still got that small. Okay, he must have used. No, he had just one left, so he's going in and doing the boss now. Right?
Yeah, this is definitely the boss, but yep, I mean,
He's got 11 out of 14.
Wait, which chest did he get?
Oh, he's okay. He's got 11 out of 14, so he skipped big key chests in Harmless Hellways, probably?
No, because we did the Harmless Hellway, I thought.
Maybe he got you know what, we might have missed a small key in the bridge chest or the drop down.
Maybe.
I mean, pod small keys and pod are definitely a thing.
But if you got a key, then you would have done both the basement and the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know.
We would be at 12 right now.
Yeah, I don't know. We missed whatever he did. Either way, he's going to finish this dungeon, and then he's going to be able to mirror and finish Eastern, which is going to be really good for him, and just hope that those last 2 items, whichever they are.
Penny Royal saying did not do the Stalfos basement, so...
Okay.
That might be the skip we get from Yagamoth for pod.
Yeah, that's a dangerous one.
Yep. Especially, like, I gotta believe Dazed is gonna get a small key here.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, not the freest Helmosaur fight you'll ever do, considering we don't have any male upgrades and no, you know, just the regular bow, no good swords.
Yeah, I mean, that's even less optimal than an NMG fight without the boots.
Yep.
Can't even set up spin speed.
Okay, and Paradox Cave, our last stop in Death Mountain for Dazed.
Maybe a Hera return? Oh, definitely.
Now we're going back to Hera. Well, he does. Oh, he has the hook shot, so he could actually, he could clear Hera if he wants to. And that book, you know, just makes it, gives you incentive to go back up there just in case that Ether Tablet has something.
And realistically, I think Dazed will likely end this route at Spike Cave.
Yeah, I like that. You got a cape to put it in logic. You do it right after your magic and your health is completely filled up by killing Moldorm. Yeah, I like that.
But here comes Yagamoth back into Eastern Palace. We do have the big key and the bow, so this is going to be another clear for another crystal. And actually, this is our other 5/6.
That's right. Nothing in the big chest. Just a compass for Dazed. It's the compass that I find useful after we've done that dungeon and could walk in and find out we haven't opened the big chest.
You know, I was saying we're going to get another pod small here, but geez, where are they?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I do wonder if the bow sitting there in the big chest is the logical silvers, because it's behind the 6 pod smalls.
Yeah. That Hyrule Castle small key is actually interesting. It doesn't seem like it would be because obviously we've cleared out Hyrule Castle. We do get a big key off of Armos for Desert. Okay.
So we need that.
The Desert small key was actually locked by the Hyrule Castle small key. So interesting logical chain here. You know, we're starting to see the pieces come together. Swamp Palace is going to be clearable. So there's a few of these. Like, realistically at this rate, Swamp might have a pod small or two. Desert can have a pod small, but still not, like... Landmo probably does not have a pod small, if that bow is our actual bow.
Oh, Turtle Rock's small. Okay.
Okay.
That's, if 3 of those for days means that he can finish the dungeon. Just don't open up the lava chest. He can't without the... He can't right now because he doesn't have an ice rod. If he had an ice rod, I don't think it'd be a bad play to go finish it right now. But without that ice rod, you're not... I don't think you're betting on Turtle Rock when you have lots of other things to do.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think Dazed is going to probably just rush Pod Eastern.
Yep, I think so. And Yagamoth's going to rush the big bomb. And if Dazed still has a fairy, he can use that to get through this without even bothering with his magic.
Yeah.
I want to say they picked up 2 fairies. Okay,
yes,
he's just going to... Yeah, so he's going to use that cape. And I know he's used the one, but I don't think he's used the other. So that would have been an option, but, you know, I mean, as long as you're not going into a magic-heavy location right after this, it's fine. Just use the cape.
And so we get a Sank start. Oh, flute activation. Duh.
Yeah.
No, that makes
perfect
sense.
I would take this flute straight over to Meyer.
Yep. Yeah, well, why not? You've got... I don't want to dip Meyer, but I definitely want to check the shed, checkerboard, and we've got a few checks available in Desert Palace that are worth our time.
Yep. You know, find out what's... Yeah, we can do all the checks in Desert Palace. We just can't get whatever's on the torch.
And unfortunately, Dazed cannot beat Landmo right now.
But right, he doesn't have the big key.
Yeah.
So it looks like nothing of note in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, a shield is the most notable thing, and I you know,
we've already killed blind, so
yeah. Well, you know,
like the red shield, I like it if I haven't killed blind yet. Beyond that,
it's
kind of
getting
runs out
into
of
Swamp Palace. It's nice to have.
Oh,
to
that's
get
fair.
Out of the way of the or to block the spear. But it does look like Yagamoth's heading over towards Catfish. And should get his lamp soon, which might send him up the mountain finally.
And is this going to be Catfish for Dazed?
Graveyard Ledge into Catfish?
One of them's done Graveyard. It might have been Yagamoth that did Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, Yagamoth did that. And Dazed hadn't done Bumper Ledge either.
So this is kind of a nice little bit of efficient routing. Too bad we're not able to do... Oh yeah, and Yagamoth now has the bow for Splash Delete combined with a bunch of other things. I have no idea what he just did in terms of the items, but it worked.
2 bombs, a Samaria block, and exploding the Samaria block gave enough stuff. Let's put it that way. So he didn't have to sink arrows into the wall, especially when he only has 2 arrows. I'm surprised Dazed is kind of taking this this approach with the clearing of all this other stuff instead of rushing Pod Eastern right now.
I think he wants more pod keys. That's the only thing I can think of. Or a bow. Like, he doesn't know he's getting a bow out of this.
Yep. Well, and if, you know, I think if Dazed takes a more traditional pod route here, definitely going to be in a little bit worse of a situation because probably not going to be able to eat pod. Unless he decides to skip the Harmless Hellway.
Yeah, it looks like there was nothing at any of these checks of note. Is this going to be Yagamoth going to the mountain, it looks like?
It makes the most sense for him. He's got
Yep.
now logical access to it. Wait, Yagamoth was down to 2 arrows and decided not to pick up the 10 arrows.
Sometimes you just don't pay attention to those
No.
arrows, you know?
If it doesn't look like something I really want, it's gone before I even
Yep.
pick it up. Even if it's something I really want, I've definitely mirrored before picking up boots off of a catfish.
That would have been funny. Yeah, I've seen weird mirrors like that. What I didn't. Is that another ether? I think.
I thought Bombos. Either way, that
I
did
did
not look
not
like
get a
Quake.
good. Yeah, I did. I did not get a good look. Yeah, it'd be nice if it wasn't Quake.
I thought I saw a design on the left side that was a lot bigger than a Quake. And there's our
Big
TR
key to
big,
Turtle.
so
Yep, Turtle Rock big key.
required double dip of TR.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
We'll see if Yagamoth goes in there. Nothing on Desert Ledge. And we're gonna learn some stuff about Desert Palace here. Yagamoth's gonna go ahead and pick up that required ether. Now, our tracker putting in Bombo, so I'm gonna trust our tracker.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Shout
an ice
outs.
ring on the torch.
Oh boy. Well, I guess we need boots. Shout outs to Sabletooth doing our tracking today. Trackers always are MVPs. But yeah, we're gonna need boots, which, you know, kind of the good news, bad news. Yeah, you know, like for Yagamoth in particular, who might have wanted just single dip desert, we'll likely have to double dip it. But on the other hand, it means we're getting boots.
Yeah, eventually. We've had a very, I don't want to call this a slow seed, but we've just not had mobility.
No, we really
until
haven't.
Even that flute.
Fairy number 3.
Wow, this seed is just like, I want you guys
We
to
don't
feel
want you to
safe.
die. Yeah, we don't want you to die. So desert, pretty much a bust here. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, getting the information about the ice rod is really, really useful. But beyond that,
There's that skull big for Yagamoth.
Yep. Now he's gonna be able to check Hera big chest. So, in fact, isn't even gonna Hera pod here. Well, he can't because he doesn't have the hook shot yet. And given that he can full clear the dungeon, this makes sense to just do it and not, some runners will try and wait for that hook shot, but I'm all for it. You have a dungeon that you can get 5 out of 6 items and a boss down, just do it.
And Daze is going to actually dip into Mire here. Daze is really committing to the I want a good way to do pod Eastern.
I want more pod small keys. I want a bow. Interesting double bomb setup with free Yagamoth there. I think I've seen that before, but not in a while.
I have not seen that. I'm impressed, and hey, that's a cool little way of doing things.
Yeah, I think it just normalizes where your positioning is for the second bomb jump. I don't think you intended to fall down this time though.
No, tried to do the bumper skip and unfortunately did walk off.
Yeah. I didn't. What was even in the big chest? I was so enamored with the setup. I don't think it was anything useful, which is good for Dazed. I mean, obviously he could still end up going back there and losing time to it, but.
I mean, Yagamoth also did get his skull big.
Yeah. But of course, that's always the big question. When does he go turn that in for his flippers? He's got a lot of things he can do. He's going to clear the mountain. The mountain's going to give him a flute. If he goes into Turtle Rock, it's going to give him a hook shot, and he'll suddenly have a bunch of things. Now, after that, his choices may start running dry, and that's when the
the seed seems to be saying you need to go to swamp soon. Like we have logical swamp with everything we know.
Yep. Neither one can do it. But, oh, see, there's a pod small key.
And there's what Dazed has really been looking for, is that fourth pod small.
With 4, you can choose to skip either the big key chest or the harmless hellway. Or if you really want to be creative and not open the front door, you can full clear the dungeon. But I imagine Daze will skip the big key chest and clear everything else once he realizes that he can.
Yeah, and I think at a certain point you have to think, what did my opponent do here? And, maybe Daze is starting to think, okay, that fourth small key, good chance Yagamoth has skipped at least one of those checks. Yep. So I probably can as well.
Also interesting that one of those pod smalls was behind 6 small mire keys, which just, I mean, we we kind of care about that in the sense of, I kind of care about more in the sense of amusement than anything else.
Yeah.
Mire small keys, like, you don't need a single mire small key to full clear the dungeon, but logically speaking, the left side is gated by 3 of them. It just means those
always when I'm in this mode. Like, let me do the side first.
Yeah, just do it, if you're skipping the left side, you're not skipping it because it's not logical. You're skipping it because it's slow.
Exactly. Let me go fast. I do not want to have to open those chests.
Yep.
I think the hard part here is the fact that your ice rod hunt is now a boots hunt.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of worlds where you can just skip checks now.
Right.
Because boots are a fetch quest.
Yeah. It's actually, that's the thing I don't like about the fake, the pseudo boots with the cross, when League did pseudo boots cross keys, is it just turns you still get to move around fast, but now the boots become kind of a bad item. You don't want them. Okay, looks like Daze is done with Mire. Got the small key that I think he was hoping for. We'll see if he does anything with it. He hasn't been to the pyramid, so he's going to get that Harabig key. So this might be a pyramid.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm not believing this to be a Bombos swamp check.
No, he's got 1 chest in swamp, but
yeah,
I've seen Stranger Things. No, he's not doing that. Yeah. Chat question: what do we get? Have we seen in front of TR? We saw TR from Daze. He got a flute. He got I think a TR small key. He got a hook shot.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember what the 4th chest was. But...
Yeah, the first 3 were really good. Well, the 4th chest was the hook.
Right. So I think it was one of the right side chests. I didn't quite acknowledge. So it's probably something less good.
I mean, it was right next to a flute.
Yeah, I know. We were so happy with the flute, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing right now is if Yagamoth skips, like, we know that a double dip of Turtle Rock is required. That TR big key is behind flute.
He did open the dungeon, so I imagine he's going to go in after Super Bunny here.
And I see a count going of the walks to pyramid from our runners.
I mean, it's 80 keys.
But that's the thing is, like, I'm with Vortex on this one. Like, I'm surprised neither runner has said, why not just beat Aga if I'm gonna go to the pyramid or Catfish?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Like, if Yagamoth's delaying because he didn't have lamp for a while, I can see it.
Yeah.
But Dazed especially, I thought, at this point we would have seen.
Well, hey, Day's going to turn in the green pendant for not much. Yagamoth is going to get all his goodies in Turtle Rock. That's good. Yeah, to answer, the TR big key was behind the flute, which makes this a required double dip. Oh no, yeah. It's the torch pattern.
Yeah, I think that I just realized I think people are seeing Yagamoth have a TR big key clicked off. I don't think he has it.
No, I don't think he does.
Because I thought that was in Mire Shed.
All right, dazedcloud into pod with 4 small keys. I'm most interested to see what's in the drop-down chest. And, no worries, we love our trackers. I wouldn't want to track. It's a hard job, and
Yeah.
the occasional mistakes are absolutely excusable.
It keeps us honest as well.
Oh, it's a
mushroom.
mushroom! Oh, God. I mean, at least Days has the flute, so it can turn that in really easily. Could even do a fake powder first if he wants to. Or could, do I don't know if you do a fake powder, but I am a big fan of, at the very least, doing the mushroom turn-in off a save and quit, just in case. And we are going to get the Mimic clip from Dazed.
Really strong Mimic clips from both of our runners.
Yep.
I love that bomb timing there with the slash. That was fun.
I also like the mirror back out. He hasn't done the bridge chest yet. Which I don't think we saw on Yagamoth's side, but I'm pretty certain he got it.
Yeah, we've been contending with some minor, some loss. Oh, the Meyer Big Key was on the bridge. Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, I guess that means Yagamoth must have that then, I think.
Yes, according to Yagamoth Tracker, we do have a Meyer Big. So
That's a single dip mire for him.
yeah. Yagamoth went all the way to Mimic Cave here.
If there's anything useful. I mean, money, but
If that was boots, that would have been massive.
it really would have been.
So the one check here that Daze is going to be up inside of Pod is that mushroom.
Yep, there it is. Doesn't have the big key. This Death Warp isn't gonna do anything for you.
This is gonna be a save scum of the lava.
Of the lava. Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a little confused for a second. And Daze gets his bow and a slight slash of frustration. So a lot of good information here. We'll just get a reset. It does mean he's not going to be checking Hookshot Cave right now, but that's okay. We didn't find anything there, I don't think.
No, Hookshot Cave was surprisingly junk filled.
I mean, this will be the classic Turtle Rock big small key in lava chest.
I see Vortex saying boots. Oh, that would be just awful.
That would be crazy.
Wow,
yeah, that would give me serious pain to reset, but you have to.
Sorry, we're not keeping half magic today. I mean, at this point, for Dazed is looking to be in pretty good shape. Gonna, beat Eastern after this, a single dip of Eastern.
Yep.
And, that leads into Swamp, that leads back to Desert and Mire. 3 more dungeons come off the table immediately after this pair for Dazed.
Yeah.
And that it is just leaving Turtle Rock. And, you're just hoping that between Swamp Palace, can I just get my boots?
Okay, where was the Desert Big again?
Armos.
Okay, so he's gonna get that really soon. Yep. So are we down to, because he's also getting his Swamp Small out of Eastern. Is Daze down to boots for go mode? Yeah, because Ice Rod's on the torch.
Yeah.
Whereas
We've got 2 small
Yagamoth,
keys, so we're
I mean,
feeling pretty good.
Yagamoth's not that far off either, but he needs to turn in this big key for the flippers.
And unfortunately, having the small key and big key to Desert, as well as the big key to Mire, like, I am not
He's
shocked that
doing that
Yagamoth
first,
has
yeah.
no desire to go into Vu and
Yeah,
Skull.
I mean, to his perspective, this is the right call. It's just unfortunate that Swamp Big Key, sorry, that Skullwood's Big Key is gonna screw him up a little bit, having not gotten it sooner.
Yeah, and what I'll say is I don't see a world where Dazed skips anything in Eastern at this point. Like,
No.
he's gonna get, or he's got that Mire big key that says, hey, you've got 2 additional checks in Mire, but really there's not a lot of opportunity for him to skip as Yagamoth pulls that TR big key and just has to go,
Yep.
game, you got jokes. And yeah, chat saying boots are bad. Boots for Yagamoth sends him back up to TR.
Yeah.
Like, that becomes, hey, I can beat Turtle Rock. Maybe it has my flippers. So, like, if you're rooting for Yagamoth, I think you have to hope they're in Swamp Palace now.
Yeah, just limit the number of things that Yagamoth can do so he gets back to that Skullwood's big chest sooner.
Yep.
AD key is also the mode of a bazillion hearts.
Yes,
we have
we will
15
be very
and
safe.
14.
I'm shocked
We haven't seen
a number upgrade.
Yeah, we haven't seen a male upgrade yet. I'd rather have that than a heart, pretty much any day.
I'm also kind of surprised we're only still on Master Sword. We got 2 swords early and have seen nothing since.
Well, at least it's not the hard mode that we have that has, what, 48 heart pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Yet another heart piece. Hard. There you go. Yeah, we haven't seen that mushroom turning yet. I'm kind of curious what that's going to be. Another compass for a dungeon that we've already done. Not a very useful one anyway. It'll be interesting to see what's in this Mire big chest, because that could be our boots as well, and that, like you said, would not be ideal for Yagamoth.
Yeah, I'm already worried that Yagamoth goes back up the mountain seeing Ice Rod on the torch and goes, I can just, maybe the boots, this is a cruel joke from Turtle Rock in this seed.
I mean, if you feel
double or triple dip of TR.
If you feel behind, a play like that is not a bad idea, because, like, if you feel behind, you need to make up a little bit of time.
But if you're in either runner's shoes, do you really feel behind in this seed?
I don't think so. I mean, Yagamoth might feel behind once he sees where the flippers are. But I think right now, I don't know that I'd be feeling necessarily ahead or behind.
Right. Like, I feel like both runners have cleared dungeons in a very orderly fashion. Nothing really outside the norm. We've minimized double dips where possible. But, like, if I'm in either runner's shoes right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I'm missing a couple of things, but they've got to show up soon.
Okay, so the most interesting check here, because we've seen everything else.
Green rupee, sure.
Okay. Days, get ready for your green rupee when you go back into Misery Mire, because that's all you're getting. It wouldn't surprise me if Days does swamp before going back into Mire, though. Given that he's cleared, he's cleared most of Mire. It's only 2 more items, whereas swamp is a bunch of items. On the other hand, knowing more, I don't think The only thing that makes Mire better is boots. It's faster.
Well, that's the thing.
Desert.
You know, here's your question. Do you want to potentially full clear swamp?
Yeah.
Or do you say, do I go back to Desert Mire, get the items I can out of those two,
Yeah.
hopefully getting to skip a lot of Swamp Palace?
Yep, that's exactly the question you ask. You could also choose. I might, yeah. It's a tough one because left side is always a big question. Sometimes I'll leave left side in a keys mode. I'll leave left side if I don't have the big key, so that getting the big key now makes it 3 items instead of just 1.
Right.
But
and of course, the other part of this is, if you do Desert Mire and then go to Swamp and then the boots are there, you got to go back to Desert.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what do we have? A small key.
Odd.
Yes, of course. What else would it be?
Pod.
There's always a pod, small, and pod. Just this one is a little more roundabout. So now you've got the fetch quest last chest and pod. For days, the fetch quest Hera big chest, which we know is nothing. But yeah, this looks like swamp.
Bombos into swamp, maybe?
Yeah, I like the Bombos check first because that can save you a ton of time if the answer's just there.
Yeah, if we can just get the boots, we're in to-go mode. Well, no mode, but same thing.
I think Yagamoth would be in go mode. But, sorry, Days would be in go mode. Yagamoth still needs to find those flippers. Now he's going to go straight into swamp. Not going to do the tablet. It is several screen transitions and a couple and some mirrors, so I can certainly understand not wanting to do it. Oh, apparently we had a prediction about something at 120. When will we find boots? Okay, yep. Sorry to those of you that said we were going to get boots sooner. The seas are just not that kind. Okay, Yagamoth having that big key is just going to go ahead and rush the back of desert, which I think is fine.
Swamp Palace, a small key to ice. Okay.
Woohoo. Like, the second ice small key doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, not the... There's a worthless item.
Like, the only real use for Ice Palace small keys is if you want to go into Ice Palace without a hammer.
Yeah, ice breaking without a hammer.
Yep.
Or even Ice Palace bomb jumping without a hammer. Either scenario. Well, I guess bomb jump doesn't change much, but especially ice break. I love having a small key for that kind of play. But here we go. Yagamoth into the Land Molus fight. Setting up with that fire rod.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
Oh, we'll get a sword. Yay!
Nice.
Okay, so on path sword. No one's gonna miss that.
Like seeing that nobody's gaining a major advantage off of that one.
Small key. Okay, last pod small.
And as of right now, the Yagamoth does have a little bit of a lead, 8-6 in the dungeon department. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. It really does come down to when does Yagamoth get back to Skull Woods. But here we go. Desert Big Chest, also new info here. Just a piece of heart, so... Desert and Mire are not the answer for our boots. The question, it's really coming down to, are we going to find them here in Swamp, or is it in TR?
I mean, I could see it. Now, that's a whole lot of money in Swamp. Small key to Turtle Rock. That's Turtle Rock 4, so Daze gets to get half magic, possibly, if he's not
Yeah, he'll
go-moding Turtle
definitely be able to
Rock.
keep that. Or no, realistically, if boots are not in Turtle Rock, then Dazed will be able to just say goodbye to that chest.
No,
And
you're
also,
not checking that chest in Go mode.
well, and the reason being he can skip the pokey.
Right. All right, we got a nice double spin there. And we have seen a Gina, right? Have we seen a Gina?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Daze did it first thing because he had set up the money early.
All right. Where are we going now, Yagamoth? Back to the mountain, but he's got flute, so that doesn't mean anything. Okay, we are doing stuff on the mountain. He never did Hookshot Cave, and I don't think he ever did Spike Cave.
And I don't think we saw Ether Tablet from Yagamoth
Right.
either. So there are some extra checks here. Unfortunately, that's a draw up here.
Yeah.
Dazed likely through the Argus fight at this point. I'm guessing Bombo's tablet was coming up after that. The question is, where does Dazed end up? Dazed ends up back at Mire and Desert, of course.
Yeah, I did take a quick look at his stream. There was a container heart on the Bombos tablet, and he must have gone and done this right after.
So unless it's like a vanilla big key chest, a pod, if it's left side swamp.
Yeah, we have a couple checks in swamp. We have an item in pod. We have a full clearable Turtle Rock, except for the boss.
And I mean, that's the scary one, is that it's just going to be in the boots are in TR. Which, can I just say, that is a rude seed. You got to dip TR to get your flute, to then go get your TR big key out of the shed, to then go back to TR for boots, to go get your ice rod. And if that's the case, I mean, credit where it's due, game, in that we've been wrong. All the talk of, hey, you can save a portal now.
Yep. There's not a lot of places. It does mean the Yagamoth might still get those flippers with enough time to do something. The hard part for him is he hasn't touched Swamp. Oh, and apparently Swamp was our last pendant, so... Do you pull Ped?
I saw it mentioned in chat as well, was, waiting until possibly having the ice big. And I don't disagree with that. Without
Yeah, that's
ice
reasonable.
big, I think there's definitely reason to steer clear at least a little bit.
Right, and in fact, chat making a really good point that ice big, because it's a pendant, could just be in GT, in which case Ped would never be in Logic.
Yeah, so we definitely have not seen enough to make it seem like a good play yet. But Yagamoth is going to give us Hookshot Cave, and then the fact that you're up here, I would not be shocked to see Yagamoth back into TR.
Yeah, I could see it. Like if you still had to do Skull Woods, I could see doing the ped check there. Because you're right there, but there's nothing else taking us there. Yagamoth obviously still needs to go back there for his flippers, but that means he still won't have the Swamp Palace done, so he can't pull it. He could read it, though.
And that's the hard part, is like, even the pet is further out of logic for Yagamoth. Like,
Yeah.
there's not even a question there. And actually, the fact that, oh my gosh, if boots are in Turtle Rock, Yagamoth might full clear GT basement.
Ooh, right,
Yeah,
because the
this
flippers could
is,
be in GT. I didn't even think about that.
yeah,
That's a really good
wow.
point. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up Dave's stream again to see if I can see where he's at. Okay, he's in desert, which
Like,
makes
this
sense.
is a
So he's not
terrible
done with this yet.
situation for Yagamoth, actually.
I think he might need. Jeez.
I feel like you need boots to be left side swamp,
They needed to be left side swamp, or God forbid, find the ice big key,
and it's pet.
and
Like, it's
it's
got to
there,
be one
yeah,
of those two things.
or just the big chest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs to be a flipper locked boot. If it's not, I don't see a lot of chances for Yagamoth to still win this race.
And like we said, Daze is gonna go finish desert now. Gonna open the big chest first. And fetch quests will get you. Those fetch quest keys are the worst.
Yeah, to think that Days climbing the mountain early just for the save and quit setup
Mm-hmm.
and checking out Hera was that big of a play.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of put us where we're at now.
Yeah, Yagamoth about to give us a bunch of new checks here over in Turtle Rock. Nice. I don't know how he got around that. Maybe I guess he's still at iframes. That looked really weird on that roller.
And like these next 4 checks really, I don't want to say decide the game, but I don't see a route for Yagamoth if boots are here.
Yeah.
And I really hate to kind of call a race early, but that's a hard hole, in my opinion.
All right. dazedcloud into the landmo fight. Did not see what that first item was, but he's still looking, so again, it's tower small key. Yeah, looks like the answer is not here in Turtle Rock.
I will say I did take a quick glance at Yagamoth's tracker, did find powder at least.
I mean, it's a useful item.
It
It's
is
a
a fetch quest.
yeah, it's a nice safety item. It is a fetch quest, so there could be something behind it. And he's gonna immediately check it out.
And still no boots, so we've got a race here to find that.
Okay, is this Days going back into swamp? Maybe.
Pyramid Fairy?
Oh yeah, he hasn't done that either. It has all 6 pod small, so Pyramid Fairy into the last pod check would not be unreasonable either.
I don't know if we see pod though. Like that's just But the fact that you already got a bow behind 6 smalls, like I wouldn't be shocked if, think, hey, 6 smalls could just be locking a couple other things. Because a lot's been behind the 6 pod smalls,
Yeah.
That 6th pod small gives you the desert, or it gives you the bow, which gives you the desert big key, so.
Okay, so it looks like Yagamoth's going into the dark world, which tells me he's going to be getting his flippers really soon.
And once again, we have a race. Yagamoth, if Yagamoth does go for the full clear, like at this point, I think Yagamoth does left side after beating Argus.
He's got less things left.
Yeah.
He's seen everything else behind the flippers. There's flippers for Yagamoth.
And that's probably one of those moments that, like, this is the first time I think Yagamoth's going to be like, oh, that's
Yep.
not good. I thought maybe we get the ped check, but nope.
Yeah, he's just leaving with it. Yeah, and I think it's, you know, that Ice Palace big key again. I think that's you've said it a few times. Daze is gonna. I mean, it's his densest play is the Turtle Rock play.
Yep.
Daze gets to keep half magic. Yay! I mean, it's not nothing, but it really isn't much.
If flippers are, or sorry, not flippers. If boots are in Swamp Palace, I think this race is flipped on its head. Yagamoth has the
I
lead.
agree. I mean, to be fair, Yagamoth was never really behind. It was just that question of when does he get his flippers?
Yeah, and there were so many traps for the boots. But the fact that the boots have not shown themselves and appear to be flippers locked, like, that is just, it's so huge. I think question in chat, like, why we think Daze might not have done left side swamp. I think that really came down to the fact that we had more checks at that moment. Like, when Dazed finished up Swamp Palace, he still had 2 checks in Desert, 2 checks in Mire, a good amount of checks left in Turtle Rock. Like, there were just other options that might have been better in his mind.
Yeah, better options. You know, it could, you know, doing left side right then could turn into a triple dip at the swamp because, you know, you still have the big key outstanding. The left side swamp call, you know, there are people that swear by one choice or the other. But
yeah, at this point,
I've seen it.
Are one from go.
Like, yeah, I've seen it bite in every way possible, for getting it, for not getting it, for, you know, skipping it, not skipping it. I've absolutely lost races to skipping it. I've absolutely lost races to picking it up. So, you know, it just, for me, I ask myself, which would I rather lose to, skipping it, or would I rather lose to the 2 minutes I wasted picking it up? And I'd rather lose to skipping it myself, but, you know, other people may have different opinions, and I don't think one is necessarily better than the other.
Nope. This is, you know, this is the game you play at this point. You just kind of have to, live with a decision and understand that is the randomizer.
Yep.
It can be very cruel at times where you make good calls. You know, there's a reason why the meta changes and people discuss, you know, what is the right skips to make.
Yeah.
Because those things just continually change. Half magic for days.
Yay. But yeah, either way, if you're Yagamoth, you're going to the back first, because if the answer's just here, you're just done. You don't even have to ever worry about going left side. Now we know that's not going to happen. Now I'm trying to think what he has left. He has a couple of chests and pod after this.
Yeah, I'm stretching here to think what else we've got.
Exactly. I mean, the ped pull is there, but yeah, I can't imagine not going. If in Yagamoth's situation, I can't imagine going back in or not going back in. There's not that much else left.
I will say, Paper Cut Dungeon living up to its name against Yagamoth today. Oof.
Yeah, this dungeon will just kill you. Death by 1,000 cuts dungeon. Nothing really hits that hard, but it all hits you.
Does get bailed by a nice fairy though. So plenty of health here coming into Argus.
The other thing of note is, if the answer is left side swamp, Daze, you know, I think most of the other locations Daze has, which isn't a lot, do allow him to save the mirror portal, but the swamp play would not.
Yeah, Daze just has a lot of one-offs.
Yep.
Like, you know, we talked the Hera play, is one of them. Oh, there's.
Oh, hi,
I
Quake.
forgot.
I didn't even
Yeah.
realize we got a Quake. That's right, because we missed the dungeon prize, or the boss prize, I should say, on Dave's side. So everybody's got a Quake. Woohoo! And Yagamoth had the benefit of having a tempered sword. I kind of like doing the sword spins Argus fight, but it is definitely a lot slower. It's nice to have the tempered sword for that fight. Yeah, and Yagamoth goes right back in.
Yep. Could have made an argument for checking Bombo's tablet first, but yeah, don't want to have to deal with, draining your
Yeah.
band again.
Yeah.
So do it
I
while
think.
you're here. Knock it out.
Yeah, I think if you're doing if you're doing Bombo's tablet, you're doing that before you enter the dungeon the first time. But hey, the mirror shield gets to be used for its intended use here. I guess a Meyer Small here. Actually, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, yeah. Days is at 3 Meyer Smalls. That now all of Pod is in Logic.
Okay, Dazed is done with TR. We are tied up in the crystal department. We are just searching for boots, and
I think he's
Yagamoth
going
has
back
given us
into
the new
Hera.
info. Yep, this looks like Hera as well.
You're right here. It makes sense. We know it's nothing, though.
Okay, I have not seen that play from
The
Yagamoth before.
the hook shot on back to the ledge there.
Yeah,
I've yeah.
I'm used to doing that
That's
north. I didn't know you could do that south.
yeah. I've never seen that either.
Unfortunately, all that niftiness was lost on having to go back up.
Okay, so we're about to get a couple of new checks from Yagamoth. This is not a new check from Days, but it's going to be fairly quick with Harapot. And I do love this setup that Days is using. I hated doing Harapot in this until this was discovered.
Yeah, really. I love seeing all the different variations, but with that version now existing, like, learn that one.
Yep.
There is just no way to mess that one up, really. But here we go. Left side swamp over on Yagamoth's side. Do we have boots?
We have a
We've got a red
boomerang. It's red. It was
That's
a
a
red.
first one.
Got one more shot at it.
The boots.
It's in left side and Days.
Oh,
That's
no.
go mode for Yagamoth, and Days is probably gonna last location that. Left side swamp strikes again. So Yagamoth's just gonna go grab his ice rod and go.
Yep. It's unfortunate, like, Dazed really had the strong route throughout this seed, and unfortunately skipping left side, which made a lot of sense at the time. He had a ton of other checks. Just was not the call for this one.
Just arrows on Ped.
And there we go at 142.09. Yagamoth has entered go mode.
Okay, so Days, let's see where he goes next. He's got the hammer out, so this could be... Oh, this is just going to be back to turning that powder. After that, I think he just has the... I mean, he's not going to be that far behind. There's just not that many things left he can get. But pretty much just the... But he's already behind with Pod being available and being able to save your mirror portal if you can get it there.
Yeah, it's just like the time is starting to add up, and even if he goes there immediately right now, that's still... We're well over 2-3 minutes difference.
Yeah, this is Pod. The funny thing is he had Swamp available, I guess for a while. I mean, he was missing the small key and for a long time. Yagamoth having gotten that small key very early. Like, if you put the players' routes together in a weird way, you could have had those boots a long time ago.
Yeah. Take Dave's early mountain trip. Take Yagamoth's early pod dip.
But yeah, this is basically going to be a full clear for Dazed. I don't think he's got anything left after this. Oh yeah, and we still have to do Aga Tower. This is the thing I don't like about the vanilla keys, is that Aga Tower is just kind of there and doesn't really... Oh no, he's got another item you can go check.
Oh, that's a terrible fetch quest now.
Well, and the mirror portal's gone, so not that we knew he wasn't gonna be able to keep that, but I think he has to go to ice. I think he has to check that out. Like, the left side swamp is just losing play for him, and he knows it. It does mean we only have one extra big key to troll us in GT.
Literally, we needed those arrows to be in logic on the pad.
Yeah. Yeah, you do still have to watch out in GT. That Swamp Palace big key still available. That's always the... we saw it a couple of times last year when people were looking for the big key. I think in the keys mode last year, where the big key had to be in GT. Where I think at least once or twice we saw people mirror out because they saw a big key and didn't read the text in time to see that it wasn't actually the GT big key. Only one key to troll us on with that now that the Ice Palace big key has decided to show itself. Hey, a mail upgrade.
I mean, this is the time you wanted it, right?
Right, yeah. Right after I kill the difficult boss.
Yeah.
And time for GT.
Yep. Gotta find a big key, so we can't just skip all of the basement. But we've got 3 small keys, so we're in excellent shape for doing the basement checks.
Yeah, it gets kind of scary if you don't have any or if you have 1. 2 is enough to full clear if you do it right. And of course 3, just don't open the middle door and you're fine. Now, let's see, gonna go to the right first.
Yeah, I think I would do right to compass room and then full left.
That works. I was gonna say if there's a small key here, but wait, we have that. Also, I think silvers have to be in GT. I don't think there's anywhere else left.
Bonkrox and King's Tomb.
Oh, right, they could be behind the boots. Well, we'll know it's one of those two if the silvers are in the light world. It doesn't mean Yagamoth's going to go out of his way to search for silvers, no. But I do think it's reasonable to check the top 4 chests for them.
I will say, I think both runners are probably, like, especially Dazed at this point, knowing you're into a last location territory, not feeling good. But I can't imagine Yagamoth feels much better.
Yeah, he was so late to the slippers.
Yeah, my opponent clearly did left side first trip in a swamp, and
clearly had both small key and flippers long before I did.
Yep.
Because your opponent always god routes, right? I mean, sometimes they do, but But you know, realistically, it's just something that you, as a runner, it's always in your mind. Like, what
No
is the
matter
guide
how
route?
reasonable you think that route might have been,
Yeah.
they definitely hit it.
Yep. Also, we're probably gonna find a swamp big key here somewhere. Hey, all the mail upgrades. There's a big key. It is the correct one. Yay!
Yeah.
I might have checked the other two chests just for silver, since again, they're almost certainly in GT, but not a big deal.
I believe that was number 9.
Jurassy says number 9, so I'll trust Jurassy.
Yeah. So Yagamoth does have to do this climb. Gonna land at the pyramid and still has to beat Aga.
Yeah, this is the thing I don't like about this mode. Is it makes it a little more. I mean, I get not wanting to search out those castle tower keys. Though that can be an absolutely awful process. But I also kind of miss that, you know, Aga Tower can be a play just for those chests. Now, Daze is going to get his boots really soon. Get the bad news.
I got a red thing. The wrong red thing.
I mean, he knows it's here. I don't think there's anything left.
Just one quick slash of the sword, like, yeah, I
Yep.
know. And Yagamoth low on magic, so really heads up here, setting up for the triple. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Okay, that
Yep.
I've never seen that strap before. That was really cool. Let's see if he opens it. You know, the fact that he'd opened those other two chests in the Salfos room says he's probably not going to check any of these chests going up. We'll see.
Yeah, I can't imagine we see any extra checks at this point. If he already skipped the other two DM room chests.
Yep. He's going to have to grab this magic pot. A little less out of the way to open that chest than the other one.
Dazed is climbing up the mountain for the TR clear now, and his final crystal. Just noticed Daze goes up the left side of Super Bunny.
Oh,
I think I'm more used to seeing people hook and mirror through the right side box, but...
I'm not sure there's a difference. I don't know.
No.
Cool. Looks like they might have been able to get a triple out of that, but not quite. Oh, nice with that last ball.
Yeah, good double to clear it out.
Yep. That's not an easy one to get either. And let's not fall down the Ganon hole, because we still have things to do. Ganon will tease us if we try and beat him without beating Aga first.
That's never happened and will never happen for the remainder of this main tournament, I'm sure.
It didn't happen today. You know, the other bad thing is you still have to get the stupid text box when you're opening those chests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know these are vanilla. Thank you.
And with red mail and 17 hearts, we can take a little damage from the guards. It's fine.
Yeah, free health refill, just in case.
That's the one nice thing about being able to do Aga Tower last, is that you do get that health refill. For whatever reason, the game does not give you a refill after you beat Aga 2. It's the only time you don't get a health refill. And right before you fight Ganon. Like, why?
Well, at that point, you should have, 20 hearts and 4 bottles and half magic and red mail,
True. And a, gold sword and silvers.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, there is plenty more main tourney action going to be going on today across the SpeedGaming channels. We'll try to highlight some of the matches that are scheduled as we sometime after the end of this race.
I mean, for the next 3 weeks, that's all you're going to see. You're going to see a ton of races. All right. And we're going to get some blue balls here for Aga 1. Yeah, I always like how when you do this out of order, as opposed to what the vanilla game has you do. You've just rescued Zelda from her crystal in Turtle Rock, and now she gets put right back in.
It's a rough life. Meanwhile, Dazed is heading over to GT, but behind GT and an Aga Tower, there's not a lot of opportunity really at this point.
Oh, we probably missed some of those blue balls, so no idea how many there will have been.
Some number less than 15.
Yep.
Because that never happens.
Well, the funniest part about the 15 blue balls, I don't think we've ever seen it in randomizer. In fact, I know I haven't. But the NMG player that's had it, I forget the name of the player, but it's the same person that's had it happen twice.
Okay, and where were our silvers? The question everybody really wants to know.
I mean, they have to
Ganon's Tower?
Yeah, Ganon's Tower or Boots, or behind the boots.
Nice 1-1 for Yagamoth.
No, we did not find your arrows in your tower. The arrows in your tower. But that's okay. We have plenty of magic, a lamp to conserve it if necessary, and torch glitch acquired, so.
Yeah, I think Yagamoth, having used the cape a little bit, probably not feeling totally good about burning Fire Rod yet, so he's going to switch over to that now.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Do a little bit with the lamp, and then you can do a couple rounds with the fire rod. And if you're still not there, then you can always switch back to the lamp as well. But you
But
just got them going now.
yeah, good rhythm, good triples.
There we
and that's
go.
gonna do it. As dazedcloud does begin his GT climb.
And Yagamoth is going to take this one with an official race time of 1:59.10. Barely sub-2ing, but man, oh man, the way the items laid out in this one, sub-2ing is at all is pretty impressive.
Yeah. And right afterwards, Daze getting the news, decides, "Yep, I'm done. It's okay."
Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to climb GT and climb Aga Tower and all that stuff.
But I want to know where we're going.
Let's find out.
Of course. Where else do you go when a race is over but the tavern?
That's right.
Yeah, as we said, this is the first game in our Group AF play, so that's going to put Yagamoth now 1-0, Dazed 0-1. We do, of course, there are two other members of Group AF, Malxanthalos and AK Drizzt. So those two also are in that group, and we'll see plenty of games from all these people later over the course of these 3 weeks.
Yep. Plenty of games yet to be played. So Yagamoth is not by any means in the bracket with just having this one win. dazedcloud is by no means out of it by this one loss. It just feels better to get that win.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like I glanced through the race time chat between them, and Yagamoth pretty much exactly as we thought until when he got flippers, that definitely sends that chill of not feeling great.
Yeah.
And Dazed, on the other hand, is having the similar feeling of getting the boots and knowing, this is not good. And unfortunately, it's gonna be a question mark for Dazed is, should I have done left side? But I do see both of our runners in the waiting room gonna come up and join us here for a little bit.
Yeah, if you can hear us on the regular, just come on in. There we go. And we welcome in Yagamoth and dazedcloud. GG's, guys.
GG. GG's.
So yeah, I mean it was an interesting seed. Doing what 80 keys can do. But yeah, the boots location in the end. I hate it when left side swamp decides a race, but here we are.
It's my own dumb fault. I kind of knew skipping it was dumb.
Okay.
I was like, what? Let's it's 80 keys, right? You skip something, it's guaranteed to be there. It's just 100%. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, because also I'm looking at my tracker and I'm like, well, it's probably in TR, but like if it's not in TR, then it's probably in swamp, so I should probably go back in. But Argus goes down. I walk outside and I go, nah, let's not do that today. That sounds silly. So I didn't. And instead, I got to see every other thing in the game. It was fun.
Including the fun Ice Palace Big Key in pod behind the 6 smalls, and which actually turned out to be behind three Meyer smalls. just to top things off.
But going against Yaga, I got nothing but respect for Yaga. I learned how to do mimic clip from his videos and stuff.
Oh, nice.
So so going into this, I knew I was kind of up against it a little bit. It felt like it was going really well for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, so
you know.
Yagamoth, you had the flippers super late because you didn't have the Skullwoods big key. Definitely were very worried about when exactly you were going to go back there because...
Well,
yeah.
I mean, let me be simple about this. I did not expect to win after triple dipping Turtle Rock because I figured, alright, there's one check in Skullwoods, there's one check on Bombos Tablet, and there's like 5 still in Turtle Rock, so including the Hookshot Cave, which I forgot I should have just mirrored out immediately. And yeah, I kind of didn't expect this to go that way, but what I will say is Left Side Swamp kind of saved me in the sense that I figured my only chance at this point would be if Dazed actually skipped it and there was something there, which
Yeah.
I guess I got lucky sometimes because...
Yeah, there wasn't a lot left for you by the time you went to Swamp. I think Bombos Tablet and maybe the pod chests that you'd skipped.
I also never actually went to Hobo, as in I don't think Flipper there, I just don't do that because I think it's a waste most of the time. So that's one other location as well as the pedestal, I guess. Those were...
Yeah, we saw the beautiful 10 arrows on pedestal. Yeah, which was kind of funny because I mean, you both had Days in particular, you'd finish the pendants, but they weren't in logic because the Ice Palace big key, and we were so well, it's probably just in GT somewhere, so it's just not even a consideration. And you go and do it, and it's just 10 arrows, and Jesse joked that the game really wanted those 10 arrows to be in logic when the Ice Palace big key decided to show up.
What was that one?
It was in Pod Big Key Chest.
boy.
Yeah, because I mean, when I bailed on Left Side Swamp, I kind of was like, I'm gonna come back to it if I don't find it immediately in like Desert and Mire, and then I didn't. And so at that point, I was like, okay, well, now I'm never coming back to it because screw it, we're not doing that. So then I was like, well, and I checked everything, pulled ped, and got powder, and checked that, and then I went over to Pod and got that Ice Palace big key, and I was like, oh boy, I get to practice my icebreaker again because the first time was crap.
Yeah, that's kind of the sequence of actions I would have taken if it was basically just not Left Side Swamp at that point, because I was hiding exactly that course. I just happened to get so late to Swamp that you always go back, pretty much.
And of course, we never found that Swamp big key. That's probably also hiding out in GT somewhere, but that's just another fetch quest keys. Those fetch quest keys are the worst. As soon as we saw the Skullwoods situation, yeah.
That's depending on what kind of content you like watching.
yeah. I like close races, so whatever it takes to make that happen. But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it was a fun one there. It was there at the end while I'm kind of going, well, I'm dead, so I don't race with the race room up, but I went ahead and pulled it up, and I was just like, I'm just gonna keep playing, and there for a little bit, I'm kind of like, wait, maybe I'm not dead.
Yeah, get that hope in there.
And so it's just like, well, let's keep going. I'm just waiting for it there, and I'm gonna say I don't remember who I saw do this as their forfeit screen where they ran to because this was not my idea. I am stealing this from someone else, and I forget who I saw it from the other day. Yeah, but when I saw that, I gotta say that's the best forfeit screen I've ever seen. I'm stealing it.
Yeah, we were amused. We like it. Yeah, I mean, this scene not without its jokes with the double dip Turtle Rock and going to the first 4 chests of Turtle Rock. You get a Turtle Rock small, a hook shot, and a flute all at once. And then Yagamoth, I was very sad when you had to reset your half magic in the big key chest.
Yep, but yeah, that big key chest in Turtle Rock, in the async qualifier, I just autopiloted and opened the door with 3 small keys to
Oh, no.
Turtle Rock, which cost me like 15 minutes or something.
Ooh.
So I
Ooh.
was really aware of, I should probably not do that this race.
Mm-hmm.
So the reset, or being able to just reset check it, was actually kind of nice, because then you just know.
Yeah, you don't ever have to worry about it. And you came in when you finally finished Turtle Rock, you had all 4 small keys, which meant you can even just skip the pokey key, which is nice.
Yep.
All right. So first game of the tournament. How you guys feeling about your group, about the tournament in general, about how qualifiers were run? We did such a different qualifier system this year.
My general idea is actually I like the async format, because it both doesn't take as long for the qualifiers to complete, as well as when I just don't want to be up at 5 a.m. again. It's kind of nice to have the option to just do the async mode. Plus, redoing the race like this kind of saved me there, because I also completely failed one of the qualifiers because I mismarked hammer packs and there was a hookshot there.
Oh no.
Oof.
But yeah, I like the format overall for the group. I have to say, I don't really know if I play as well as I did in the qualifier. I'm definitely not going to advance though, so
Mm-hmm.
I will need a bit of luck to say the least. But at the same time, I guess I already got some. So.
Yeah, you look good today. So we'll see what happens going forward. Dazed, your thoughts?
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't even going to play in the tournament. I was going to skip this one. And then the async kind of happened, and then I was like, well, let's roll a little bit. Okay, we'll just play it just for fun. And then results came in, and I was like, okay, let's So I mean, I kind of honestly think the async format kind of actually got me into this tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's good. I'm not. This is gonna sound bad, but I'm not overly taking this seriously.
I personally think
am.
that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you're not overly taking it seriously when things go wrong. Maybe you don't feel as bad. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I mean. Is like I'm not like I'm gonna give this like my best, and I'm gonna play as hard as I can.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm when I went like halfway through my desperate search for the boots, where I realized, I might have made a mistake. It wasn't like, oh dear God, I've made the worst mistake ever. I'm going to be knocked out of the tournament. It's more like, ha, that was dumb.
I like that attitude. It's hard. It's hard to have that kind of attitude. I'm not gonna make light of anything, but yeah, it is nice to not living and dying with any it's like following your favorite sports team, and you live and die with everything. It just, the ups are really high, but then the lows they get you down.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, like, definitely, I was going into this going like, it's gonna be a coin flip at best, and I didn't get it today.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I mean,
a bit like a coin flip overall. Like, I tried to prepare a little bit by watching my opponents like mods and races previous, and I felt like, yeah, this is really good. So let's see how it's gonna work.
yeah, we got one more. Maybe I can get the second one, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, Yaga, you can let me have it, right?
I mean, why not?
Well, I don't know. I'm still rooting for the one group where everybody goes 1-1 against each other. So. I think it came close last year, but we didn't quite get it.
I know we had at least one tiebreaker race last year.
Yeah, we did have a few tiebreaker races. What I might say like 2 or 3, but yeah. All right. Anything else anyone wants to add before we start to close this out?
I mean, GG's Yaga. Thanks to you guys for all of this stuff here. I know it's super early for you guys back there, and it's 1:30 in the morning here, so I should go to bed.
Okay.
Take care, guys, and then GG's again, Yaga.
GG. Thank you for playing, and thank you for commentating, tracking, restreaming, and I hope you all have a good time.
Yeah, thanks, Yagamoth.
Thank you. So as I was saying, there's a lot of rando action. There's going to be a ton of rando action, let's just be honest, over the next 3 weeks. But right now, over on Speed Gaming 3, we had a match start in Group S. It's a McBoss between Technaldo and Illis. Lin and Zafakil are on the call there. In terms of races also going on today, there looks like there's going to be a possible race, Speed Gaming 2, Coxlove versus Trayspire at 4:10 Eastern. Speed Gaming at 6:10 tonight, Relkin versus Average Frustrated Gamer. Speed Gaming 2 at 7:10, Zelga Dasan versus Chloe Prower. Speed Gaming 3 at 10:10, BSJ 72380 versus Average Frustrated Gamer. Double header for AFG. Oh, wow.
Oh, baby.
And then late night today, 12:10 a.m., Speed Gaming 2. We have Incoherent and Breadcoon scheduled to go then. So that looks like that's the schedule roughly for today. There could get another race added in there depending on signups. We are always super appreciative of signups to help commentate and track races. If you don't know what you're doing, I speak as a comm mod for this tournament. Please do feel free to sign up to help out where you can. We will show you the ropes. We will help you learn what to do and how to do it.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for us. We'll see you over on that other race, but just like to thank Jesse Radical Sniper for joining me on comms this morning. It was an absolute pleasure.
Always a pleasure to work with you, Tracy.
And of course, Sabletooth on the tracking. Trackers always are MVPs. Can't do without them. So huge shout out to Sabletooth. If you're not already following these runners, go ahead and click the links in the chat. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one over on Speed Gaming 3. Over on Speed Gaming. Over on Speed Gaming 3.